No one can hear you. No one can hear you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I was like, is that me? That's got to be me.
I had to go back and look. I'm like, is he muted?
I thought it was me.
Listen, we're starting to show off the way the Phillies have been playing since the All-Star break. So what the hell?
Yeah, we're only coming through for our team right now, right? If they're gonna look this clutch, we might as well too. Not. Do I have you, JV? How about you reconnect and see if you jump back in and your microphone allows you to do that?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. And I don't. I wanted his intro so bad.
I mean, listen, I don't know. I was looking forward to it.
Well, it's okay. Well, like if you're joining us now, if you're live with us right now, that means you've given up with the game right now. We are playing the Fish at home. We are in the bottom of the ninth. It is currently 5-0. The Fish. It's basically the Marlins are that team, right? They're that team that is so bad for baseball. Like they come with their own stink, right? And they just came into your house and wiped their asses all over the floor. You just watched it, right? You just stood there, you watched it, you didn't go bad dog, you didn't say nothing, right? Nothing. That's the game. We've just got shut out by the Fish, by the Marlins, not the worst team in baseball, but the worst team in our division. Is that still the White Sox? The White Sox are still the worst team in baseball? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. How about we hold on, let's fake it till we make it. Let's do this. Hold on.
We're restarting.
All right. It's Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. The 24th episode of the Hall of Fame Club podcast. Today, the guys will put on their GM hats, their skipper hats, and their fixer hats. All that, and, well, that's all there is really to talk about. It's kind of depressing right now. So, but at least we're not breakdancing in the Olympics. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Well, listen, we all kind of did a vacation at the same time. And I don't know about you guys. I was in the Caribbean, and I was still watching games very late at night. It's been painful. It's been very painful to like be this guy who, it's great when the going's great, right? We all agree with that. We can all just have funny conversations about, hey, put Trey Turner in the outfield, right? You can do that, right? Well, what?
Yeah.
This conversation is not going to be the We're not going to have the fun times with it. So if you're here, buckle in. Throw your comments up at us. If you know how to fix this team, we would love to hear it as well.
Yeah, I went to Niagara Falls, and when we did the Maid of the Mist and the Cave of Mist or Cave of Wonders, whatever it was called, I intentionally had my eyes open, trying to get just so I didn't have to watch at night. Like, oh, my eyes hurt too much already, and I can blame it on the falls, not on this team. But this team was killing me.
And this is where I was.
Yeah. Did you stay tuned while you were with? I know you try and maximize your time at the parks. Did you? You're walking through the park with YouTube TV open on your phone, going what the f, right?
Yep. Yeah. I had it open watching YouTube TV when we're waiting in line. The Friday or the Wednesday night game against when they tied it. They came back. I think it was the one lone game that they won against Arizona. But it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. And it's not just one guy. It's
Mm-mm.
although I don't know what else needs to be said, needs to be done. But Taiwan Walker does not belong on this goddamn roster. I know he's not the reason, but Jesus Christ.
How did he do? Let's see.
He gave up 3 runs in 2 innings or something.
Yeah, we had a couple.
They don't even have his stats. Even the Phillies are ashamed of him. He's not even on the stat sheet for the
Well, we
month
had
of
a couple
August.
of moves that we didn't
Yes.
right before the trade deadline. We had, I think we talked about, we definitely covered Austin Hayes, right? I believe on the last
Yeah.
podcast. But we did not talk about Austin Hayes going on the.
IL.
Was he injured? Was he IL by the
He
time?
went on. It was retroactive to the 8th of August.
Okay, so we didn't cover it, right?
All right, Jack Black, relax over there.
Listen, this is the way
Nacho
he's showing.
Libre.
This is the way he's showing his face. Because you, as a fan, you don't want to show your face, right?
Could be worse. We could be White Sox fans.
We could be White Sox fans, but White Sox
But we're
fans know
not.
what
We
they're
got
getting.
we have the talent. There's too
Talent.
much talent on this team to be playing like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, and like you said, it isn't one of those things. So let's take a look at these trades before we get into the what every Philly team has done to us in the last 5 years or so. But we got Alvarez.
So the first one will go. Austin Hayes was the first trade back on the 26th. We talked about him a little bit.
Yep.
We gave up Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian Pache to the Orioles, who was
I like the Orioles
DFA'd
better.
on August 1st. He was 5 days with Baltimore before they're like, hey, now. So what did Baltimore know that we didn't, that we had to take this long? We had from April until 4 months of this guy before we're like, oh yeah, he's not that good. Like they figured it out in 5 days. Maybe our scouting department's the problem. But they got rid of him, and then the Marlins picked him up today or 8-2 the next day. And then he had a hit or two against us today.
No, he didn't do
No.
jack shit against us.
He was over 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah,
All right.
He didn't do jack shit.
I missed. I might have flipping through the stats. I looked at the wrong guy. So then after that, we went and got Carlos Estevez from the Angels for 2 minor league pitchers, George Klassen, Samuel Adeguiri. Well, back to Austin Hayes. Who won that trade so far? The Phils or the Orioles? Who do you think is winning that trade?
Well, I mean, he's on the diet. He's on the IL. So I mean, it's it's not like you can do. I mean, I get he's been in 8 games. He's got a 1.13 ERA with 9 strikeouts in 8 innings. I mean, of course, right now it's easy to say that, oh yeah, Sir Anthony, they won the trade, but his ERA before the Phillies is 4.75. It took him a couple games to get acclimated. So I'm not going to sit there and say that the Orioles won the trade because we know what Sir Anthony is. Like we know that he's as good as he is, he's still going to have the downfall.
Yeah. I also thought that was the wrong guy moved. I thought Sir Anthony was the one you hold on to, and Alvarez is the guy you throw in there. But no one's biting. I know no one's biting on that. Stop. I get it. I get that. But I saw more potential in Sir Anthony than I obviously in Alvarez. But like you're going for, this is a trade here, right? You're going for you're trying to tighten up your outfield, which blows up in your face because of injury. Yeah, I'm with you, Fuzz. I don't know if I can say we definitely lost that out on that trade. look, Pache is like we had to trim that somehow. But yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can give a grade for that, but just because of Hayes, and I know what Sir Anthony is. We all say this, right? We say Sir Anthony is volatile.
Yeah, you never knew which one you were going to get. He
Yeah.
could come out there, light up, shut everybody down, shut the best hitters down, and then come out there and face, Garrett Stubbs 5 times in a row and give up 5 home runs.
Yep.
So, all right,
And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because segue. We traded them Gregory Siddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't even find on their stat sheet right now. So I'm guessing
that shit is high.
Not good. Yeah.
Yeah, his ERA is higher than Snoop was at the Olympics.
Oh, for shizzle. We did get.
Hold on. Did anybody have? Hold on. Did anybody have that on the 2024 Olympics bingo card? That Snoop Dogg would be the highlight of the Olympics.
He was awesome last time they did it.
Right. If you watched it with him and Kevin Hart when the first time they talked about dressage, yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And the sad thing though was some of that was repeated jokes by Snoop, but he's also not a comedian, so I don't expect a ton out of him,
No, honestly, for who he isn't, he can really like he can come off as like a very likable and all that stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's I Snoop. I was not disappointed. He delivered as expected. Speaking of let's put that in with the. I know it was a separate transaction, but like we can tighten it up. Soto to Orioles. We already said that, but we did get 2 right-handed pitchers.
Minor league guys, yeah,
minor leagues, right? And we're not going to know anything about them, so that was just like to kind of cut some. Again, we did a lot of trimming at the trade deadline, but there was no one move that defined the issues that we're in now, right? We're kind of like Estevez, right? JV say it. We got Estevez. How can we even grade the guy?
Right. You can't because you're not winning. You can't save games if you're not leading the game. So I think his is incomplete right now. He's got the big eye because you can't really see what he can do. And, I know they brought him into a 4-0 game, but you're losing. It's not the same for a closer when you come in losing, like you don't have as much on the line. Your adrenaline's not there. Let's bring him into a 4-0 game that's winning and see what he can do.
Right. And again, if it's all situational, right? We're talking about it. Like if you're guys get in the mindset to pitch a certain kind of array, if it doesn't matter, it throws you off your motions and like your, all right, here we go. Here's spoiler alert. When you guys go to a concert, there's a playlist. They don't just go, oh, we're going to play this coming up. No, there's a list. You guys know that, right? They're looking down at the ground. They should know the next song. There's a playlist to these pitches, right? There's like just a way to attack it. When you're going in there, it's like a for who, for what moment. And that's what Estevez has got going for him right now. For who, for what? Like is it really going to matter? I'm not changing your game. Like you already threw me in 4-0. He gives up a solo shot in, the bottom of the top of the ninth. For who, for what?
Yeah, I mean, he's still throwing a 1.35 ERA since coming to the Phils.
That does not
Granted,
include
he's
tonight.
0-1.
It doesn't include tonight. He gave up a run.
Yeah, going into tonight. He's had 6 strikeouts going into the night. So, I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to, I guess, for the most part, for the situations he's been in.
Right. He's doing what he's been given. He's not, we're not like, oh shit, here comes Estevez. This whole game is changing. You're already going in like, 11 to 1. Okay, that's fine.
The next one was, my screen just messed up here. Tanner Banks from the White Sox for a shortstop, minor league shortstop, William Bergola.
Which I
think is fine. losing that shortstop. There's plenty of depth with this team, sitting at shortstop throughout the minor leagues on this team, so that didn't hurt him. And Tanner Banks is another one he's thrown 7 innings, so as a reliever, that's enough. But he hasn't. He's got a 3.68 ERA in 7 innings.
Yeah.
So.
Did Stevenson come up? Was Stevenson? Is he up for Austin? Is he up for Austin Hayes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I saw that. I just wasn't sure if he would came up for Hayes. He must have, right? And the last one that's kind of the shocker, I think, to almost everyone was we got Nelson Alvarez from the Rays, and that was a cash situation, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was traded for our good friend Cash.
Yeah. Which I understand. You're looking for this depth in the bullpen that you've just unloaded Sir Anthony, and Soto. So you obviously, the two you're not throwing these minor league guys up here. So you're going with Alvarez just to kind of give yourself a little bit of off nights where you have to get that in. I get it. I do. I just Fuzz, if you're judging this solely on everything we just said, how did you feel about any of the moves they made going into, after the trade deadline? Did you feel like, oh, wow, we really did what we needed to do here to fix anything?
Austin Hayes, he's the everyday right fielder because Brandon Marsh forgot how to hit and then he gets hurt. So that screwed us. You went and you got a closer who's, good closer on a bad A's team. And I just like I said before, I think the worst thing that happened is, it's starting to bite him in the ass. Is this Taijuan Walker? It's like Taijuan Walker fucking stinks. There's no other way to put it. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like he stinks. Like this is how I would grade Taijuan Walker season. I don't understand why we keep throwing him out there.
There's 20 million reasons.
Yeah, I was just about to say and
it sucks that those are the reasons, but that's what it is. They're trying to get their money back for him, and he is not helping the situation.
Oh, then listen, and I can be mad. You can be mad. You can be mad when they don't advance, when they lose in the playoffs, or if they don't even make the playoffs because of Taijuan Walker. It's going to be on I told you so to the fucking Phillies fan. It's a big FU to the Phillies fans. I don't care that he can't pitch. He can't throw a strike. He's and if he does throw a strike, he leaves it out over the corner of the plate for a guy to hit it 117 miles out of the goddamn ballpark.
Okay, great segue.
He got lit up in AAA and AA.
But that's my question to you:
He got lit up in AA players.
Is he the problem? Is Taijuan the Walker the reason that we are now under 500 baseball since London?
No, he's not the problem. No, listen, they did. Brandon Marsh can't hit. Bryson Stott can't hit. Bryce Harper isn't hitting. Trey Turner's batting 297. He was batting 3-12. Like I feel like 4 weeks ago. I started off. I said it's the whole team, but at least here's the point. At least with other than the last couple starts, at least with Aaron Nola, you had somewhat of a shot. You had somewhat of a shot. Through 5 innings. At least with Zach Wheeler, you had somewhat of a shot. With Taijuan Walker, you have no shot. None. They could have lost tonight's game 1-0. It's still Taijuan Walker giving up that first inning run. I can blame the starting pitcher because he fucking stinks. That's why I can blame him. He's got an ERA that if it was dollar dog night, I could get $5 dogs. Well, that's how I can blame the starting pitcher.
Jeff, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about, right? If you
And
were
Jeff and listen, Jeff's 100% right. Like, listen, Jeff, I'm not disagreeing with you. You're 100% right. When you score 0 points, you could have again, your pitcher could throw a no hitter and lose. We've seen it, but at least with the other pitchers, they give you a chance. Stott is terrible. You are not.
Yeah.
You are 100%. I'll let you take the lead on this.
Yeah,
because
please.
who
Was
it? Hold on, real quick. Who was at the beginning of the season said he was going to hit 20 to 30 home runs? Because I know the shit wasn't me.
that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
We all get one.
That guy.
We all get one wrong.
Stott stinks, right? And this is where we're going to kind of break down the dichotomy of, but we have known this. This is not like oh wow. There's a reason Stott is batting under 100, right? And
Stott and Brandon Marsh are doing so bad that your boy has a higher batting average than him. That's wild.
There we go.
That is wild.
That was going to be the stat, right? Castellanos there's no reason, because of just strictly because of his month of April. Statistically, his month of April was dog shit, right? Pure dog shit. But there's no way he should be getting right now. His slugging should not have gotten to where it's at, and it shouldn't be ahead of Stott's, mathematically speaking. But yet here we are. So this is where we started it right here. The Phillies should donate their salary to charity for tonight's game, and they should, because there are certain nights where you can literally say this is the product you rolled out, like at home in front. Like it was audible. The booing was audible tonight. Yeah, you could hear it through the radio. I heard it on the way home from practice tonight, and I heard it through TV. So you could and when was the last time we heard real booing in Citizens Bank Park?
Probably Chipper Jones' last game.
It was loud.
Yeah.
It was very, very loud, and that's the product that you're putting out. But it's been the product you've been putting out since London. So I would love to say it's starting pitching. I would love to, right? Because then, like, where you could have dialed into before the trade deadline. It's not, right? It's not. I wish I could just say it's hitting, right? Stott's under how many? Professor, how many guys do we have on our lineup batting under 200 right now?
For the month, there was 4 guys for the month of August.
Like, what are we doing, right? What are you doing? Okay. All right. Well, maybe we could just say it's the fielding, right? The Keystone Cops out there. You guys are watching it, right? We're watching Turner stink it up. That's not new. That's not what
and the rest of it doesn't look bad defensively. Like, it doesn't look, what do you call it? It doesn't look like the Cleveland Indians from Major League.
Okay.
Like they look okay. They look okay on defense. They look the same as they've done all year.
That's false. False. Harper doesn't deserve first base right now. Does not deserve first base the way he's out there. Okay. The way he is, it's almost like there's zero hustle at the bag, and he's getting mad at everyone else except for the person who's screwing up, which is him. I get it. You're looking over at, like, what was that throw? No, bro. Where was that extension? Like, what are you doing? You get pulled off the base all the time, and you're just overreacting. He's bungled it. He's had 2 errors this past week. Before that, I think he had a couple. Listen, Jeff, I don't think he has that same stigma. I know y'all kill me with the Phillies, but the Phillies will never win with Bryce Harper. I don't think he's the same Bryce Harper with the Nationals. I don't. Where I do agree. I think he was the problem for them. I don't know if that's quite true here. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt of picking up an entirely new position and just getting it, but he didn't start with these problems. Now he's got it. So like I said, this is infectious. Everyone is starting to become infected, right? And yeah, I know exactly. We all know the story. The second he was out of there, those guys go on and win the World Series. And so yeah, like that stigma is definitely with him. But we can now point to starting pitching, relief pitching, infield, and also batting. So if you can point to all four major parts of the team, what is the problem with the team?
I'm just going to go. I mean, I get it. He left Washington and the Nationals won a championship. The Nationals also had Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. I mean, I get it, and I get it. It wasn't a good look. It really wasn't a good look, and it wasn't a good look for Bryce when that happened. But like they got Max, they had Max Scherzer and they had Steven Strasburg. So I'm gonna give a little pass on that.
And I do also kind of agree with it, right? Like, was there something behind Bryce, right?
And they had Anthony Rendon that decided to start hitting that year. They still had Zimmerman. They had Trey Turner.
That's right. They had Zim.
They had Juan Soto. They had plenty of talent without Harper.
Yeah.
They were a stacked team, and I don't
think it wasn't like that. It wasn't like it was two AAA guys who came up and played outstanding position. They had legitimate. That's pretty fucking funny. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Although, oh wait, no, he did get to a finals. He did get to a finals with Oklahoma. I don't care. I don't care what you say. That's pretty funny.
I hear the criticism of him. But
it's deserved. And it's deserved.
Yeah. Because if you're the guy who's the heart and soul, I'm gonna still like, hey man, what was your fault, right? Like you jockeyed hard for him. I get it. Like if you're building the round around Bryce's, like, kind of wants and desires, Jeff's got a great point that, are we building too much around the one guy when it is a team? But I can show you where every component of the team is failing, including management. Listen, we were calling for Joe Girardi's head on a stick with the same record that they've had since London, right? Under 500. It was like 4 or 5 games under 500. By early June, we were calling for Girardi. Topper's not getting. No, I don't hear the criticism to Topper because everyone keeps saying, well, this team's talented enough. This team's talented enough. Yeah, all teams are talented enough. It's the majors, okay? It is the majors. All teams are talented enough to tear away with it. What do you do, right? What do you do when the going gets tough? How do you adjust? And I don't feel that there's been any adjustment other than to injuries and to trades or DFAs. That's the only adjustments I see.
Which are all out of Topper's hands.
Correct. What about the things that are in Topper's hands? Now, are we saying Topper the whole season he's been handcuffed and he's been having to play the money positions? Is that what we're saying? Do we really think Topper doesn't have managerial control and it's Dave? Dave is the one who's saying, hey, listen, I'm Dave the Dombrowski. I'm the GM of baseball. You got to play what I put out there, and you got to play the players we're paying money to. Do we think that's really happening?
To a point, yes. I think with very specific players, like the beginning of the season in April, I think as much as Casty was struggling, I do think that was Topper letting him play, let him play through it, kind of a thing. I think the Taiwan Walker thing is coming from management, from above him, that he doesn't want to pitch this guy and is just throwing him out there as he has to. And I think he's with management to be like, let me do my thing and just get me the right players and see what happens.
Well, that's the only thing I can agree with.
He's not getting the right players.
There we go. This is what I was waiting for. There we go. Never. Topper never changes the lineup.
There's that old school mentality where managers didn't change the lineup. Your leadoff guy was your leadoff guy. Your three hitter's your three hitter, no matter what, and you let them work their way through it.
I can't buy that. If you're an analytics guy, I can't buy that. I can't buy that. Everyone says Topper's an analytics dude and a player's coach, right? He plays to he's really not an analytics guy. He's a player's coach more than anything. I think he became an analytics guy when it only came to pitching changes. But he never changes the lineup. He never rotates anyone around. He keeps he keeps everything from spot 5 to 9 if you suck. That's what he does. And he keeps you there.
I don't know. I always get torn because there's especially at this level, that fine line of when is it the manager versus when is it these guys are professionals. They're supposed to be the best of the best. You need to start executing and performing. And the coaches at this point should be pointing out minor things like, oh, you're dropping your hands a second early, or, you're doing this a little bit different. It shouldn't be on them as much as it is on the players to execute and listen. Now, I think there might be some trust issues with some of the coaching, and it may not be Topper. It may be below him. It might be the hitting and the pitching coaches. It might be the bench coaches that are trying to point these things out to these guys. And now they're doing everything. They're putting their quarters in the left pocket and wearing, women's underwear, breathing through their eyelids, and it's not working for them. They need to, maybe you start changing things up under Topper and see what happens. That's usually the way it works. The assistant coaches are the first ones to go, and then the head coach or manager tends to come after that.
My issue is this is like a slow motion car accident, right? It's all happening in slow motion, but it's been happening since the end of June, right? Or even probably mid-June. But you have watched this, mid-June, like the 20th. You've been watching this skid in slow motion. I haven't seen any reaction to how they go out and play night after night. I don't see any urgency in changing things. I don't see any urgency in adapting how they're swinging. As a matter of fact, I'm about to say this. Schwarber looked like he was swinging scared tonight. Scared. That's the only emotion I'm seeing is fear. Like or they just look stupid at the plate. Yeah, okay. Or no emotion. It's for me.
Like they're guessing. They're just guessing at what's coming, and there's no game plan. Is what it comes down to. It's really no game plan. And when you don't have a game plan, you can't have emotion about it because you don't know what to think.
Right. Well, we called this earlier prior to our 2-week break here. We said it. That it's like when you play in isolation, and it'll never work for you. Right? Never work. Yeah. If you're just out there and you think you're doing the mechanic of whatever you should be doing, and you're not kind of communicating with your team, and it just feels like they're not communicating, right? You see them getting out in the dugout. Like when they were winning, they were talking to each other. There is less of that happening. And we've gotten there, right? There are guys who are hitting, who are trying to generate some excitement. Casty looks great. I'm gonna say that, right? I can't complain about him. I think people have been giving Harper kind of like some slack. I think he's doing fine. I think he's, he's doing what he needs to do at the plate. Bohm is
for the
doing
month
terrific.
of August. For the month of August, Schwarber, Harper, Alec Bohm, Sosa, Casty, Austin Hayes, I know he's injured, Rojas are all guys with 5 or more games and hitting 295 or above, 294 or above.
Yeah. Well, like
Yeah,
Sosa's not in every day, so Sosa, you know what I mean? So like that's not like, so take him out.
He's got 5 games in. Yeah, he's got 5 games for this month.
Right.
And he's hitting 364.
Yeah, and
like that's the thing. Like, yeah, but Trey Turner's always been like that. He's not a hustle guy, and it drives this city nuts. Just ask Jimmy Rollins when you're not a hustle guy. But it's just the way Turner's always been. He hits a pop fly, he jogs. Harper's a hustle guy. Harper's the one that'll hit that pop fly and hustle down to first. Maybe not full out, like trying to beat a ground ball, but he's going to do his best. He's going to put up a little bit. Turner's never been that guy. If he doesn't think he's got a hit, he jogs it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't leg it out.
I mean, for who, for what, right?
Yeah.
So we've identified, right, the slump that Philly has now kind of grown accustomed to. We have now seen this with the Eagles. We saw it with the Phillies last year. It's where you've got something happening. You're moving along, and then the team defeats itself. Chris, are we in a curse? Are we in a Philly curse? Is there something? How do you fix it? Where's the first place you start?
Are we going? So we're going to go to me.
Let's open it up, sir.
It is time.
Is that what we're doing?
I put a disclaimer on before I put it on, so I made sure. Listen, can it hurt? Can it hurt? I don't know. Do something. Listen, I'm going to show you a tweet today. I'm going to show you a tweet today. You're gonna laugh. People who are watching are going to laugh. I shared it. All right.
There we go.
Dear Phillies, watch the video. It says, it is time. There's the video. And only one person liked it. The guy who sings the damn song. Do something. Do something. I don't know if dancing on my own is the answer. It worked last year when they slumped. What is start playing it again. If the Phillies win tomorrow, play it at the stadium. Listen to 40,000 people listen to it, singing it. Do something to ignite this fan base.
I get what you're saying with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be that song, but like you saw it with the Eagles when they went with the underdog and hungry dogs run faster, like that. The team feels like they need that rally thing, whatever it might be. I don't care if it's a rally monkey, rally squirrel. You're right. I feel like they need something to rally where, and we said it before, like they're not hitting in bunches. You got Schwarber hitting 326 this year, for this month. 11 RBIs. So
Right, but
that's
what's Trey hitting?
solid for him. Right. Trey behind him hitting 170.
Right.
And
Right.
let's see, runs. Yeah, that's what the problem is like guys are getting on, but nobody behind them is hitting. Or they're hitting solo shots or something like that. It's like, come on.
Good night,
like,
Jeff. Thanks for
we
joining
got to start
us.
getting.
Good night, bud. I
Listen.
appreciate the comments. Thanks, man.
And if you go on Twitter right now, and if you go on Facebook, and I haven't been on Reddit, there's one common theme. There's one common theme, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. Like, fucking do it. Break out dancing on her own. What do you have to lose? I know you guys argued with me in the beginning of the season. It's got to go away. It's got to go away. It's got to go away. You get that song playing before the game. You're gonna at least have the fans for the first 3 innings. Now, if you start to get blown out, you're gonna get the boos. But you're there. Like you're igniting the fan base. You're including the fans now. That's listen, the song's terrible. But we love it. We love to sing it.
We're booing, right? We're booing right now. Like this is it's
and deservedly so. And listen, I'm one of those guys. I don't boo. Listen, I looked. I was at the pool night. I looked on my phone. That shit said 2-0, and I already knew Taijuan Walker was pitching. And I was angry as hell, and I put my phone down. I was like, and they deserve the boos. And listen, I'm not a guy who boos. I don't boo my home team. Listen, you pay $45 to go to a game, you pay $30 to park, and you pay $10 for a bottle of water and hopefully maybe a cold hot dog. Boo. That is your God-given right as a fan to boo. The Phillies, as an organization and as players, they need to bring it back. I know, and I know people hate it. But right now, this is a song you bring back. You bring this back as a hype song. You have to get listen. 40,000 people are still going to go to the game, but at least let's try to go back to having fun. The Phillies are lucky. The Phillies are lucky that the Braves suck. That the Mets just can't surge. They were 41-19, and they had a 7-game lead when they were 41-19. And they're 67 and whatever now, and they've lost half of a game, and they have played absolute terrible baseball. Now, bad teams go through something. I said 2 weeks ago, not worry about it. It is what it is. I said 3 weeks ago, don't worry about it. It is what it is. I said a month ago, bad teams go through stretches. You got swept by the Yankees, then you got smacked by the Diamondbacks. You lost to apparently Nolan Ryan 2.0 tonight. Like do something.
Balazzo, right?
Now is the time to start to work. It is time. As Rafiki said,
It is time.
It is time to worry because this summed up the Phillies game tonight.
One hit. That's all. We got one goddamn hit.
You can't say goddamn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Like that sums up the Phillies tonight. We lost 5-0 to the Marlins, who had 44 wins. They're 44-75. Now they're 45-75 and 30 games under 500. And we lost 5-0. Just like bring it back again. What do you have to lose with bringing back the song? Oh, it's a second place song. Well, we're playing like a dog shit team.
Okay, let's say we bring it back. What is Rob's responsibility here? What does he go up? He just goes up to the booth and says, "Hey, I know how to fix this season. Let's put on a song." Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I do. I understand where you are 100% coming from.
It's the players.
Not
the coach.
Getting them generated, getting them into it. I get that. It is the players. But there needs to be an adjustment and a repercussion for playing so poorly, right? There has to be some sort of, I'm the manager. I don't like what's happening. Now you need to do it this way. Or are they playing the way he wants them to and they suck? At that point, what do you still say to Topper?
Somebody gives him the ultimatum: fix it or get out. Those are your choices. As the manager, you step up, and now because what you're doing is not working. And like I said, maybe it is you get rid of K-Long. You get rid of the pitching coach. Like, you figure out some of these other guys and be like, maybe not necessarily get rid of them. Like, all right, K-Long, you're going to the bench coach. This guy's going to start doing the hitting with these guys. Just give a different perspective. See what happens. You know? Or maybe we give the entire team a standing ovation. Worked last year for Trey Turner.
I'm not giving the entire team a goddamn fucking standing ovation.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a hard push when these millionaires are I can't. I get what they were doing for Trey. I do. I'm not certain like they're my responsibility to motivate. You should be going out there to be putting out the product that you should be putting out because you're getting paid like a millionaire.
There's again, I go back to the beginning of the show, and listen, I get why they did the standing ovation last year for Trey Turner. Like,
yep.
He's this, he's that. It's his first year in,
right?
It's he came from LA, he came from the Washington. He may be a little sensitive. I don't know. Whatever, it worked. Now I'm going to go into year 2, year 3 of now chasing a World Series, and I'm going to give a standing ovation to a $400 million payroll. You're out of your goddamn mind. Yeah. You're out of your mind. I don't need to get. Listen, not me, but other people pay their own goddamn money, $45, $50 a game. That's your standing ovation. I'm showing up. There's 45,000 people here. Stop playing like dog shit.
I would love to say I'm not going to another game until they start turning us around, but I'm going Friday. So it's like, but
I like Friday night games.
Yeah, Jen, the wife's work. She got us tickets, so we're gonna head over. But right, I'm with you. Like, the standing ovation stuff is like, coffee is for closers, man. I don't know if I can even take. Well, let's put it this way. I don't take Topper seriously right now. Right. You get no emotion. That's who you get from the guy, right? You don't get emotion on the field or nothing like that. And it's not as bad as Girardi. Girardi did not react to a damn thing. He couldn't care less, I think, about the Phillies when he was here. And
he was condescending a lot. Like, he was like, I was manager of the Yankees. I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Bro, you inherited a $1 billion payroll. You should have won with that team. Like,
right. You should have been kissing Cashman's ass every single night for the team that he paid for. Right.
I think he was.
Right. So there's a certain level of I know Topper was the guy who was designated to it. I don't think he was good. We definitely didn't give him the job on merit at the time. You're just the guy who's going to get the job after you fire your manager beginning of the season. Like, with
the interim manager.
Yeah.
And then they went on that run and did really well, and kind of the team won him that job. The talent of that team got him the job.
Right. So now I'm asking the question to both of you: does he still deserve this job?
And anyone else listening? Pittsburgh for Derek Shelton.
Fuzz, you're Dave. Like, what do you do? Are you thinking about moving on from the Rob Thompson experiment?
No. It's like the Nick Sirianni thing. All the guy does is win. Why are we getting rid of him? It's like, Sirianni's first year, they make the playoffs. Sirianni's second year, they lose in the Super Bowl. Sirianni's third year, they make the playoffs. Rob Thompson takes over the team in the mid-year, loses in the World Series. Second year, goes to the playoffs. We're having a rough August, some of September or some of July and a rough August, and a rough July and some August, and we want to fire him. I'm not firing Rob Thompson. There's too many people. There's too many people on social media who are smarter than the manager, but aren't in the sport of baseball. You can have an opinion, absolutely have an opinion, but I saw people rip on him for bringing in Jeff Hoffman last week. Jeff Hoffman's been lights out, and he gave up the 4 runs. Like, grow up. Like, before you comment, before I make you look like an asshole, look and see what it is. It wasn't like he brought in Jose Alvarado in a tough situation. He brought in Jeff Hoffman, and it was very Jeff Hoffman-esque, and he gave up 4 runs in an inning. Last time he did, I don't even know if he's done it, but if it was in March and April.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And what do you want him to do? All right, change the lineup. I get it. Like, you want to change the lineup, but again, they're winning with Kyle Schwarber at batting leadoff. I don't know what to tell you.
I definitely would probably be looking at Sosa as your second baseman on days like that, right? I don't understand why Stott hasn't been benched when you could throw Sosa there for a few days.
I would. So here's what I wouldn't bench Sosa. I wouldn't bench Stott. I would platoon.
I hear you.
I would platoon them.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I would do. I wouldn't totally bench Stott. And
all right, listen, you're allowing I think Stott has obviously, look, we compared him, right? But he's in his own head. The guy can't go depth at bat anymore, right? Where we're talking about, it wasn't rare to get a 12 to 14, 15 at bat pitch, right?
Yeah.
The guy's whiffing. And I can see it. I can see he shortened his swing. He's trying to move like, if anything, if I'm going to compare him to someone, I think he's trying to emulate Bryce Harper too much. And you don't have the same swing. I don't know why you're trying to do that. But it looks like he shortened it up somehow. And fear, right? It's scared. I'd rather than play with fear because it's okay to have fear. With fear, you can react to it, right? You're on your toes, you're alert, you're aware. When you're playing scared, you just look terrible. And these guys look like they're really scared at the plate.
So what if the roles were reversed? And we're going to go back to the what if. What if they struggled in April like they usually do?
Yeah.
This is their April. I think that's how they have to look at it. This is their April, and they're going to turn it around. If they don't turn it around, they're probably not going to make the playoffs, or they're going to get bounced.
Whoa. Slow down. Slow the fuck down. They are 20 games over 500 in the NL East. Okay? That's fine. They're going to be in the playoffs. Like calm down. The problem is,
I'm going on worst case, and I just said they're probably going to make the playoffs and get bounced.
Right. That's what I'm afraid of. Right now, you're looking a little sloppy, but you go to yourself and you say, but they made the playoffs, so Topper's still a winner. Is he? I don't know. 45% of the teams get into the playoffs now.
I don't know.
With this payroll, you should be an automatic in the playoffs.
Excuse me. I disagree, but
right. Okay. You disagree that with this payroll, with this level of talent, that you shouldn't just be at that 45% level. Like you shouldn't win as many games to get you to 45. You have to be better than 55% of the league. And now let's take the Marlins out, which will drop you like another, right? And even the White Sox. So take off 2 teams, right? But okay, you've got at least the bottom team. So now it's out of 30. So really, in reality, 50% of decent teams will make the playoffs. So I'm not exactly buying into the Topper's a winner because you've gotten to the playoffs in the last 3 years. So I'm not sold on that. I need him to have better answers. I need him to have a better a better approach, a better response. Like if I can think of platooning second as something to improve on Stott, Topper should have thought about it. He's so much more talented than me. He should have thought about that 3 weeks ago. We should have seen that in play and not let the guy get to under 100, right? So now he's on quicksand. But we're gonna see, right? What is your prediction, JV, moving forward? Where do you see this team? You know, they just took the first loss in the series to the Marlins. What do you call out for the rest of the month of August?
I don't know what to give you as far as a record goes, but they definitely need to get back on the winning track. If they stay at this current clip, then if they stay at this current clip, they're not going to, if they make the playoffs, they're going to get bounced in the first round. That's what's scary. And then you really got to start looking back at it and be like, okay, what's really going on here? But just to kind of go back to something you said, if I found the right stat, your boy Stott.
Yeah.
In 2023, he saw 2,881 pitches in 689 plate appearances. That's a 4.18.
Yep.
Per at bat.
Yep.
2022, the year before, 2,112 pitches with 517 at bats. It's a 4.09.
Yep.
Currently this season, 1676 for the pitches, 415 at bats. Plate appearances, not at bats. It's a 4.04.
Four.
So he is right around the average number of pitches so he's just not taking advantage of those 4 pitches like he did. And then when he goes above that average, he's not taking advantage of it.
Right. And that's what I think we talked to that, right? Him going the depth and his at bats prior 10, 11, 12 pitches. He was fouling those off like a champ.
I'm going to give you a wild stat.
Go ahead.
The Yankees in June and July were 25 and 26. And they're in half a game out of first. Slumps happen. And
no doubt.
And everybody wanted them fired. Aaron Boone, who was hands down
You just muted yourself.
He died like I did earlier.
No, I think he's touching his mic and he muted it or something. I don't know. No one can hear you, but maybe for the best. And you're and you're right. Slumps happen. No one here is denying that slumps happen. This is baseball. I'm the first person to say this is baseball. But you got to do something about it, right? You just can't sit on your hands and say, well, this is baseball, so we're going to come out of it, especially when you're going deeper into the woods with no flashlight in your hand. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's tough to sit there and say that they're a bad team right now, but it's at the same time, I mean, like he brings up a good point. They're still leading the division. They're still leading by a lot in the division. Like
that was my point.
They're going to get in accidentally. That's
my point. They're going to get in. Right? We're the NL East, but
it's like they're going to be the Seahawks. They're going to squeak in with a sub 500 record. Not really sub 500, but
9-8 record.
Yeah.
Listen, and I think this is where we're gonna, because right now we have a lot of hopes and a lot of dreams to fix it. What's going on here? And the truly, is it superstition? Right? Could it be the song? Could it be? I don't know. Stop pandering to these players, right? Just because I like batting off first so much, and it's. I don't mind where Schwarber's at, right? And I'm not saying Schwarber's the problem. I'm just saying, as a player's coach, no one would have done that. No one would have put Schwarber, but we get it, right? And when it works, and it's great. And it's still working. But what are you going to do about guys who are slumping?
Right. If you perform, you can be that guy saying, I want to bat leadoff and get it. When you're Bryson Stott right now saying that you want to hit too, you need to prove it. You need to start hitting better. If you want to get back up there, how about I put you at 7, 8, 9? Let's see you work your way back up. Because that's what a new guy has to do. That's what a rookie does.
Right.
Very rarely does a rookie come in and hit number 2.
Let me give the job to a known hitter like Sosa. At least half the time.
A performing hitter, I should say. You should say, not a known hitter.
Right. A performing hitter.
Having a career year. The hot hand.
Right.
The hotter hand, I should say.
Right. Give it to the hotter hand. And this is not a salary.
The hotter hand at leadoff would be Nick Castellanos, not Edmundo Sousa.
Oh, I'm not talking. Well, we said if you're performing, you're cool, right? Like, so Schwarber wants his spot. He's performing. He's not a slouch in the leadoff position at any. But if Casty said, "Yo, I want third," he should be getting it. If you're a player manager, you play to your players who are playing. You go to the other ones who aren't. You go, I'm sorry, man. Well, I got to do this with you. But that is something that he's going to have to. I think this game right now, this game tonight, is way worse than the Snake series. Way worse. And I'm hoping that this is one of the realest wake up calls you'll ever get. Because when the fish do this to you, when the fish come in your own house, shut you out.
I will say this, and kind of harpens back to what Chris has said. The fish did it to Taijuan Walker. Now, if the fish come in and they do that same thing to Zach Wheeler, then you really start to panic. But if they're beating Taijuan Walker, who, all season long, everybody was beating Taijuan Walker, then it's not that big of a surprise. The offense needs to step up and help them up, but Taijuan Walker is a problem.
Well, all of your starting pitching besides Wheeler got duded up the other day. Everyone.
The D-backs are a solid team. They're competitive. They're not slouches. They're not the Marlins. Now, if the Marlins are doing this against the rest of the starters, then I think you got to really take a step back and look at what's going on with the team. And
and again,
Dombrowski needs to look at what's going on with Taijuan Walker because it's not working.
Well, that's what I said. I
figure
hope
out some way in your contract to get rid of him.
That's what I said. I hope, and that is the hope, that there is some sort of movement. There is some sort of, it comes to a head where if we do believe that money is driving the decision for management, there is pushback to that, right? Topper, if you can really manage, if you're really a manager and you are getting, now you have all the proof in the world to say, what you're telling me I got to do and who I got to play is, now let me run what I want to run, because now we're under 500 with the way you've been telling me to manage through money. And I do understand managing through money to an extent, but when it is literally driving your, like Taijuan Walker, we've been saying that since April, that he wasn't going to be ready for the season. He was going to be a problem for the season. We've said that early on.
Yeah, a big thing that we talked about earlier in the season was run differential. Since the All-Star break, they're 7-16. They have a run differential of -25. Their batting average was 259. Now it's 237. and their ERA was 3.41. Now it's 5.07. So it's like the perfect storm has happened. Now,
Yeah.
let's hope this slump, it is what it is, and we get over it, and we get over it real quick. Because, like I said, it's not going to be a fun August. It sure shit is not going to be a fun fall. It's going to go back to. Listen, it's the way Philadelphia is. It's going to be like, all right, thanks, Phillies. Thanks for keeping us involved till football season starts. Which sucks, but it really is. It's. And Juan Soto hit 3 home runs today.
I was trying to see like when they expect like not Hoffman,
Hayes.
Spencer Turnbull back, but Ranger hopefully when he comes back his back problem is fixed. Like I think that's the other side of this is having Taiwan Walker there is you don't have anybody really to replace him.
No.
That is consistently performing. They get these guys come up from AAA and they're great for a game or two, and then they remembered, oh yeah, I'm just a AAA pitcher. Spencer Turnbull is not expected till late August, early September. So hopefully when he comes back,
I think Ranger is actually the same. I think Ranger is the same. Like on the same
19th week of the 19th. So next week.
Yeah, they said end of August. So yeah, we're getting so okay. All right. So that's actually earlier. I saw Turnbull and Ranger were like on the same regiment.
Yeah.
But that's actually good news because they said Ranger was looking at like late August. So that means we're getting maybe mid-August, and that's like something. He wasn't so hot to trot before he went out. Like there was a reason he went out, and we all assumed he was going out because he needed that break. But maybe been out pretty long time. So this might be something that we're gonna have to deal with for the rest of his career, where he can't go depth in a season.
Right.
So you're not gonna, he's not gonna be and that's why I always like appreciated the 6-man rotation, which guys like Wheeler, who are always going to push back against. They don't want to be on. They want to be on a 5-day. Okay.
They want to be on the 5-day because of money is really what it comes down to. There's clauses in there that based on number of starts and innings, and you're not going to get the starts if you're doing a 6-man.
Yeah.
There's just not enough games to effectively do that and get your clause. I think that's why pitchers have always pushed back against it. But
all right, so our next podcast is going to be on the 20th, right? We are on our regular schedule. So we will be joining you next week, hopefully after we have ourselves a momentum shift. We will be looking forward to that. I believe we will be looking forward to a momentum shift because, again, baseball says you can't stay this bad for this long with that kind of talent.
Yeah.
Right? All right,
Agreed.
gentlemen. That was awesome. It was, I would love to say it's awesome to be back and, chumming it up and not being depressed over this. But let's bring back the song. I'm all for it. If you think that's going to change around it, let's do it. And let's get some good vibes going.
I had to get Jeremy dancing.
The funny part was just my arm sticking up through the.
I know.
through
All
the screen.
purchase all those arms. So So next week we'll be back, and we will be bringing back something we did in the beginning of the season. I think we did it like every other episode, and we haven't done it in a while. Is our favorite moments at Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
Which will be nothing from this year, apparently.
All
I don't
right, y'all. For myself, for Fuzzy, for Jeremy, we appreciate you joining us, and we will
bring it back.